G'day, Argentinian driver Franco Colapinto put his car into the wall for the second time in 2 races. What's that going to do for his future? It was a big crash, 50 Gs, put him in the medical centre for some time. But I think you have to look at the fact that Williams cars have crashed a lot under Alex, under Logan, and now under Franco. Yes, there'll be some concern as to whether or not Franco is suitable for Formula One yet. Maybe he is too young, but certainly it was hard to watch tonight. I saw Matthew Savage, the CEO of Doralton, looking very concerned, and that was a far cry from the sentiment in Austin when I found Matthew and also Franco about to head out to see a wild crowd in love with this young driver. There's no doubt he'll be heartbroken, and his father was at the track this weekend, and it was sad for him to watch, no doubt. And tonight, leaving the track, Franco did not want to speak to anyone. That's understandable. Head down, hoodie up, and I'd be surprised if anyone he passed actually knew it was him. Certainly he's had so much support over these last 6 races, but it is just 6 races. He's raw, and I think we need to give these kids a little bit more time to mature and make their mistakes, because when they make a mistake, they make them in front of 80 million people. Now, if you're watching this upon release, there is a decision due on race morning as to whether or not he will race. He'll have to be tested again medically. I think we'll be lucky to see him race. Can they rebuild the car? Yes, I spoke to some people in the team today and they said, yeah, they'll rebuild it. It's doable, but they'll have very few spare parts left, and it's also an expensive exercise. The Brazil crashes, I'm told, cost the team about $3 million, and this one certainly won't be cheap. There's no doubt that Franco tonight probably won't sleep that easy. Certainly not as easy as Pierre Gasly, who was absolutely on fire again this week, chalking up a 3rd in quali. Where's this come from the French driver? As excited as him was George Russell with his 1st place and Carlos Sainz in 2nd. The highs and the lows of this amazing sport. Let me tell you about a big security operation here yesterday. These 3 cars rolled up and we initially thought someone was getting out of them. It wasn't Lewis Hamilton. It wasn't a president. It wasn't Brad Pitt. Who was it? Well, it was a female, and it wasn't someone getting out of the car. They were waiting for somebody to get into it. It turns out it was Adele. Yes, top secret, heavily guarded, but the singer emerged from the paddock and headed out through these gates just over there without going through the swipes, and speedily led away from the track. She is a very big star in this town. We're also asked not to take photos of her son. Not that her son was with her yesterday, but apparently that dates back to a court case where some paparazzi were done for publishing pictures of her son. Let's talk about a couple of pictures I put up yesterday on my Instagram page. This one here, Charles Leclerc looking at himself on track on the sphere. In past years, we've seen lots of drivers' photos flash up, but for that 1-hour session, it was just Charles, and very late in the session, perhaps even after it had finished, Lewis Hamilton. Quite a timely shot though. Other pictures, this one here, selfie with Franco Colapinto and my good self. He was coming in, I'd taken a couple of photos, and he showed me this phone. Now they are a new sponsor of his, it's a Motorola Razr. He was quite buoyant about the fact that I should have one stuck on top of my camera. So I took a picture of him taking a picture of me, and it turned out to be indeed a very popular post. And for the first time, we saw his father in the paddock. This is Annabelle. I didn't see his mum, not sure if she's here, but I have photographed her previously. If you've not been to Las Vegas before, yes, it's cold in the winter, but also the air is so dry. 18% was the humidity rating on the air, and as such, it kills your skin. I see Helmut Marko here, looks like he's either got very dry lips or has put on way too much lip balm, and I tell you what, you do need it, and I do empathise with him. And it's so cold that I've even had to resort to getting a humidifier for my hotel room. Now they start closing the streets at 3 p.m. every day, and they're closed completely at 5, and it is a major exercise. In fact, when I walk around this city, the infrastructure involved to get this race running is absolutely phenomenal. And the number of people involved, people out on the streets with parking, crowd security, it's phenomenal. And it's no wonder that the event is so darn expensive, but the show must go on, and it will go on. I'm hearing a couple of things. Now, how about this? An 11th team for Formula One announced before Qatar. Is that possible? I'm hearing yes. And will it be General Motors? I'm hearing yes. And is it because Greg Maffei is no longer with Formula One and Mario Andretti has resigned from that bid? I don't know. I'd be interested in your comments. Now, whilst that is speculation, this is not speculation. Yuki Tsunoda detained at the border coming into the country the other day. He's already been in twice this year on the same visa, but he was dressed in his pyjamas, or a silky pyjama looking outfit. His trainer John had already gone through and cleared immigration. Yuki came through and they hauled him aside and they detained him for something like 2 hours. John didn't know where he was, his team didn't know where he was, and Yuki couldn't contact anyone. But he was trying to convince them that indeed he was an F1 driver and he had a right to be there. Well, he's at the track, obviously, so he did actually get through. But he's not the first to encounter dramas. I'm hearing some other companies that do a lot of work with Formula One had staff turned away at the border, and last year a company had hundreds turned away. So rest assured, it can be a tricky affair coming into the US of A. Did you see the comments from a couple of drivers saying that the smell of marijuana as they were driving around the track was palpable? Well, I can tell you, photographing from the moat around this track, you smell a lot of it. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but it is certainly noticeable. Shin is well, I was going to say a magician, but he'd probably want me to say an illusionist. And he was very popular here on Media Day with a number of drivers, but I think Liam Lawson was the most amazed by Shin's amazing talents. He was fooled many a time with some cards and is openly here amazed. I did a meet and greet this morning and met some lovely people, probably 130 of them I think, outside Hell's Kitchen over at Caesar's Palace. Now, I found a Toto lover at my meet and greet, along with a woman sporting a great shirt featuring some of Toto's most memorable statements. Now, getting back to whether this race is adored or hated, I asked everybody at the meet and greet today for their opinion and everybody loved it. There was not one person who didn't like it. And what about this fella in Valtteri's sweatshirt? I asked him where he got it from and what he paid. He said, I paid $77 for it and I bought it off Valtteri in a car park. Yes, that is absolutely correct. I confirmed that with Valtteri's girlfriend Tiffany today, and all that money goes to charity. Well done, Valtteri Bottas. If you are wondering how they go about crowd movement on the strip, given that they've blocked half of the strip with the track, this is what the other half of the road looks like. It's not available. You can't walk along there. You have to walk up on the footpath. We're allowed to walk along there because obviously we're working. Question, who was Christian Horner flipping the bird to here? I think it was to this man, their team photographer, Mark Thompson. But a funny shot all the less, and that'll be added to my collection of rude finger pictures. No matter what you think about this race and about this city, it is certainly colourful. Yesterday's pictures from the first two sessions were lovely for their colour, rich colours. And of course, when you shoot high from the Paris Eiffel Tower or Old Red, which is one of the bars along the strip, you get a different perspective altogether. And frankly, that's one of the things I love about shooting this race. Last night at 1:30 a.m, Brad Pitt and his crew were out there roaring along the streets, filming scenes for the F1 movie. They're back again today. And this is what their garage looks like. Nothing like what we had at Silverstone a while back, but still they have a presence in the pit lane. Oh, and later on in the evening I was told that a friend of mine's colleague had their car towed away from the Tuscany Suites hotel car park because they were in an area that Brad Pitt and his crew needed to put their motorhomes. Yes, those motorhomes are for the actors to relax in and rehearse while they're not out on track doing filming. And has Ollie done his drawing in the Red Bull garage? Apparently he has. So let's go out and have a look at that now. An obvious Las Vegas reference. Now, the Vegas sign that was behind me a short time ago was prominent yesterday because all of the drivers were asked to stand in front of that sign, which was changed for each of the drivers, and then pose for a photo with all these interesting characters for the Las Vegas Grand Prix organiser. Most of them did it. Who didn't do it? Well, Lewis bypassed it, as did Max, Nico Hülkenberg. They put his sign up, but unfortunately Nico was obviously in a hurry and failed to front up for his photo opportunity. Oh, and Kevin Magnussen walked past it. Now, before I go, I have a quandary. Well, my son does, because Jace found this, which is a $100 chip from the Aria Casino. And he found it in the paddock. So the quandary is, if he returns it to Lost and Found here, will it ever find its owner? Or will somebody just take it and put it in their pocket? I probably think not. Should he then give it back to the Aria? What will they do with it? Who knows? Or should he go and gamble with it, and if he wins a lot of money, give that to a charity? Well, at present I've got it, but I'll be interested to see what you think should be done with it. YouTube viewers, if you've enjoyed this video, a favour. Could you subscribe if you haven't done so? Or at the very least, like the video. And for a whole lot of extra stuff, merchandise, content, etc., that's where you need to look. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate!